Go for the burn. 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 Go for the burn.
And Nick has passed up Ama in the final turns. Ama trying to take it back. He can't do it. And he's on the inside. Oh! He really wants it, nudging and nudging and nudging. And Frost takes one too. And Frost wants another. Kiki trying to find his first in the RVEC. He's on the inside. He can't find it. Oh, Eritsu going on the outside. It is easy to wreck when you go for that. It's a time for racing. G-Force tries to find it. Ooh,
The wall ride. What will they do? Nick, far on the inside.
And once again, Singh managed to put on a challenge, and Fam wins the championship.
What is up, everybody? It is Honk here with RVEC Season 5. We're here with week 9 of 10. That's right, time is running out here. A little bit of a bittersweet feeling as we approach the end of the Revol Endurance Championship, the 5th iteration of it. We've had some crazy twists and turns, some surprising results. It's some upsets, some dark horses. Today we are going to be at Santorini. Next week we will be finishing off the entire event with White Rose Chapel. Now it's not just going to be me here today. I'm also joined by the one and only Pokers. How you doing, Pokers?
Hello everyone, welcome in for Santorini. The competition is closing in, and the scores are very tight. It's gonna be very interesting.
Indeed, indeed. And speaking of scores, we can get into those. Just for a bit, because I do want to show the track preview before we get into the action. But our overall scores, as you can see, Sting leading the fight. He has won first place on Spavel. He's the only person to get first place and best lap for that extra 1 point at the same time. If you're tuning in and you're not familiar with the RVEC, first of all, welcome in. Great to have you here. Second of all, just so you know, we use the MotoGP point scoring system. 25 points for first, 20 for second, 16 for third, I think 13 for fourth, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, getting first counts for 5 points, whereas say if you were 10th versus 11th, that would only be a 1 point gap. So you can see just how much actually locking in that first place matters, but consistency does as well. Not as much as you might think though, because out of these 10 weeks of racing, the 3 worst races from each driver will be dropped, which means someone with a very consistent race might kind of get edged out by somebody who maybe is a little bit more in the mix, but is able to put up those 25 pointers. That being said, Stingox with the most second places in our RVEC, as is typically the case, he's currently out here in first place with 137 points. Once you take away 1 week's worth of the worst races. That was a tongue twister. We've also got Famous in second with 134, Kilabaris with 128, and Kiki is even in the mix now with the first place last week on Hospital 1, getting right up there around 112 points. Now, I don't want to carry on too long. I see the players are getting in here, Poker. So anything you want to say before we head into the track preview?
Kiki with the last week win, his first ever win on the RVEC, just fly away to the 4th place and now sitting on Ireland, while other competitors below and ahead of him are just have to fight for the 2 last tracks.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and we'll return to the standings a little bit, as well as last race's standings for sure. But for now, let's check out the track preview, bringing y'all Santorini. You can see the wall bang straight off the start, and then another wall bang onto the ramp. Here is a wide open spot for passing, but it's just a straight shot, so not quite going to be able to pass very cleanly through that. Maybe after the jump, but as you can see, some very narrow passageways through here. You got the bridge, which is very easy to fall off if you're fighting with somebody, into that tunnel, into this very narrow space. We saw a lot of kind of dive bombs and tricky situations through those tight corners, but it is very difficult to pass people here. Lots of defensive driving can get you a lot of, not distance, but it can keep your positions and keep people trapped behind you that may have the pace advantage on you, because there's just not that many good places to find passes. What do you think, Pokers?
Yeah, you're perfectly right. There's some just narrow corners, the narrow bridge. You can really pass any of the opponent easily. It's gonna be hard. Also, I think that I didn't show during the track preview, you have a jump shortcut, yeah? At the very start, no, not very start, but the double ramp jump.
Right.
You have to go to the inside of the ramp. Here you have a little, an extra ramp, as you can see here. And you aim for the flat section just after that.
Okay, interesting. We'll see how
that's very inconsistent with
okay.
You're gonna see some shows going on here.
Interesting, very interesting, because that is one of the main places that you can't go for a pass on this very narrow track. And I personally enjoyed this track, but we had some people who were kind of up in arms about it after it was played on the last RVEC. So we'll see exactly how much chaos is thrown in the mix, especially that bridge is a major area for heartbreak, because if you get knocked down there 9 out of 10 times, it's a very difficult recovery. You can get lucky and just get bumped over to the left and be able to take that ramp up, but even then it's a pretty big time loss. So we'll see especially how the ramp plays out, as well as the bridge, as well as the rest of this track here, Santorini.
Yeah, there might be some lag boosting during the bridge, and it's gonna be very impactful when they happen. So they have to avoid any kind of lag boosting, like this kind of things during the bridge. Because a fall is gonna be very expensive to pay.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so I do think we will be headed into our race soon. It looks like we're still waiting a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I got everything up and ready to go on my end, live standings, etc., etc. And then we will head into our match shortly. Okay, now don't forget, y'all, channel predictions are up and ready to go. I see GeForce in the chat and in the lobby, but I didn't see his emote react on the page. So I'm sorry, GeForce, that no one can bet on you. How ironic would it be if you found the gold now? But it is it is what it is. Great to have you here in the lobby all the same. We've got V in here. Okay, we are headed straight in. We'll be back to analyze last week in a bit, but for now, we are headed in. Let me continue setting things up on my end just a little bit. Okay, we should be good to go with the picture-in-picture. Cool. All right. So for those of you who don't know, here at the RVEC, we start off each race with a qualifier. This is not the main race. This is just a qualifier. And you are going to try to get your best lap time during it. You've got 12 shots, 12 laps in order to find your best lap time. Whoever wins best lap will be starting the race in the pole position, and so on and so forth, until we get to the person who had the worst best lap time for this week. So gonna take a little bit to get situated here. First lap is always a little bit of a messy one. Frostbitten goes down off the bridge on one of the laps. Certainly does not bode well for his future. We do have Power 8 currently leading. You can see the best laps tab over on the left-hand side of your screen. And as racers finish up their best lap, we've got Famous out in an early lead. Now, the Famous Kilobaris situation is something we haven't talked about today yet, but we're certainly going to be breaking into after the qualifiers are done. It's funny enough, we call it the Famous Kilobaris situation, but Stingox is currently leading. So definitely can't count him out, but it's been a lot of first places exchanged between those two racers. And we do currently have Famous out with the best lap. On your screen right now, we're going to watch a lap from Stingox, overall race leader in the RVEC 5. Bit of a shaky entryway into the tunnel, trying to maximize a little bit too much there. It comes back to bite him. Okay. Sting, still setting the best lap. Did he just set another best lap for himself even with that wreck? Is this crazy? Kilobaris getting the mix as well. We've got Sting, Famous, Kilobaris. The top 3 drivers overall in the RVC. And they're all here with their best lap. My rule says, are they doing 5 minutes of best lap? I'm not sure how much time length, but it'll be 12 laps. If you don't get your 12 laps in within the regulated time period, I think you just get sent to the bottom.
I think it is 8 minutes.
Okay. So plenty of time here. That's not going to be a new best lap for Sting. Let's watch a lap of Kiki, or not Kiki, Kilobaris here. Ooh, Kilobaris getting tapped on the corner. Sting wrecked out. I had to try to avoid him a little bit. That can happen. That is another point about Santorini that we haven't discussed much. But when a driver wrecks, regardless of if he's on your lap or not, it can be pretty damn impactful, as you saw right there. Kilobaris now moves down to 4th best lap as we see Kiki moving up. Moves up into 2nd best lap. Kiki won our last race, coming off very hot after that. A hugely contended race between a number of different drivers, G-Force and Frostbitten. Kiki and honestly, there are so many fights going on. It's hard to parse them all out, but we'll look back at those individual standings once these last couple of laps finish up. You can see it's still Stingox, Kiki, Famous, and Kilobaris. And Sting will be setting yet another best lap for himself. He does fail out on lap 10, so he's just going to have to lose that lap. Oh, we've got 2 Stingoxes. Oh, man. One is G-Force. This is Stingox. Yeah, real Stingox has a 31070. Okay, Kilobaris is going to be starting lap 11. We'll tune into his... Well, he is not going to be setting a new best lap for himself. Makakowski, someone we haven't talked about much either. All right, we're going to watch Famous do lap 11 here. He's finishing up lap 10 right now. He did just set a new best lap for himself. Moves into 2nd place. Kilobaris in 3rd. Ooh. Let's see. Kilobaris is going to be starting on his final lap. Lands the jump. Stingox still in the lead as far as best laps go. Finishes out. Does not set a new best lap for himself, but she'll be happy with the way it played out. Kiki not able to find a new best lap. Famous not able to snag it. Makakowski and Powerade, who have been locked in so much of the RVEC. They're neck and neck through the qualifier as well. They both finish up. And it is Sting in 1st place with a 31.070. So it is going to go Sting, Famous, Kilobaris, Kiki, Nick, Powerade. That is our top 6 as we head into the main race. Nick and Powerade with the same time. Might have to go back in the VOD and see who that was. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Y'all hang tight. I am going to Actually, I'll let y'all look at the standings page. Y'all can peruse the standings page here for a moment. I'm going to check out the VOD there to see who was the first person to set that time.
In the meantime, you can see that the 3 first place are fighting really hard. We have Famous and Killabarus that were tied for a very long time here until Hospital 1. No, until Sparvolt 1 and Hospital 1.
Right.
Both of the races have just not much advantage to Famous, but still, Famous got a third place while Killabarus haven't got any. And they are with like 3 to 6 points in difference. So the 3 first are very close together, and this track can make a whole difference here. Kiki on an island, 24 points before the podium, and like 27, I guess. Oh, 30. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the right scores. 30 points from the 5th. So Kiki is pretty much alone. And then we got Nick and G tied for the moment at an average. But I guess it's now that they're perfectly tied again. I don't know.
So
will decide.
I'm pretty sure that best lap by by Nick was set on the final lap. So that should clarify it. It looks like leading up until Nick's final lap, it was Powerade with a 31.368, Makakasi with a 31.396, and then it changed to them tying. So I think they probably already know that Powerade won that tie. Okay. So as we look at the standings for a bit, we saw Killabarus with a actually, let's go ahead and go straight into the last race standings. First of all, winner of Driver of the Day for Hospital 1 was Kiki. Congratulations to Kiki. It was a landslide. There were 2 votes for Laggy Rock. I think there were 13 to 15 votes for Kiki. And that was pretty much it. So congratulations to Kiki for Driver of the Day. Ended up getting passed up by Sting there at the very end, but was able to take first back out of his hands. I think Famous, well, let's see. Yeah, Famous and Killabarus also finished within the same second, within about 150 milliseconds of each other. G-Force and Frostbitten also finished within about 200 milliseconds of each other. So you can see just how close that race was, and as we can even watch back some of those replays if we get a second, because I know I got sent some clips and I could find those. How are we doing on time here? Is everyone ready? Oh, I need to reconnect. Okay. It does look like most of our racers are already in here. We should be headed in soon. Keep in mind, channel points are still open to be bet on, but they are going to be closing soon. So make sure if you want to vote with your channel points, go ahead. In the meantime, I'm going to try to find that clip.
If you really want to compare a track with Santorini, for this season is gonna be Hospital 1, I guess. It's a little bit more vertical, there are more jumps, but it's more like it's a story of consistency on this map too. So
I like that. I like that. That's very true.
if you have to compare,
Okay, so I'm gonna bring y'all over to a view of the ending of last week, Hospital 1. Stingox passes him in lap 71 to 72. They've just got the final lap here. I cannot look away from this. I know we've got Kilobaris versus Famous as well. That's on the picture-in-picture. They're heading to their final lap as well. 0 meters separating them. Kiki trying to bring it back here, trying to get what's rightfully his on the inside through the shortcut. And Kiki holds onto it 4 meters ahead of Sting. Drop down turn. Kiki grabs it back. Stingox Rex. It's all Kiki's race to lose at this point. 15 meters. And he is going to take home first. Another second place in the books for Stingox. He's got to be happy with it, but you can't win the RVEC off of second places alone. Famous versus Keela. Famous will find third. Keela fourth. G-Force versus Frost as well. All of these races that we miss, I'm sure we covered in the picture. Okay, so as you can see, absolute craziness leading up to this. I'm going to play it back one more time because we see Kilobaris and Famous down in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Right here, look, Famous is behind. Famous is going to be finding fourth. On the inside, dive bombs him. I mean, not quite a dive bomb, but still some pretty damn aggressive driving. Locks in that third place. I mean, you can, and then look, G as well. G-Force and Frost. You couldn't quite see it, but they also, Frost was leading that race before. Frost was leading that race in the final lap. So really just a ridiculous, ridiculous hospital race. Everything has been leading up to now here on Santorini. And we are going to be hopping back into our official race real quick, pokers. Okay, so I didn't download the qualifier info yet. My bad on that one. But the qualifier will be, we got most of it already. All right, and it is going to be Stingox in the pole position, followed by Famous, Kilobaris, Kiki, Powerade, Nick, Makakowski, G-Force, Lampert, Ama, Urak, V, Ertsu on the Cougar, and Laggy Rock in the back. Another Saturday night free for watching RVEC. Shout out to you, RVIO, the man. We are ready to go. And I'm giving the go signal. Sting is taking away with the race, out in first place, right with the wall bang to start us off. Famous out in second, Kilobaris third, Kiki fourth. On the other side of the ramp, we're going to watch them head out to the bridge area. I'm going to follow this trio of three for the moment. Sting, Famous, Keela. A lot leading up to tonight's race here at Santorini. Driving conditions looking good. Okay, y'all. Kilobaris losing some traction. Kiki already approaching. Kiki goes a little bit too hard, and now Powerade finds the pass into fourth place. We'll see how long he can hold on to that one. Whoa, Kiki trying to take it in the inside. Not quite going to find it yet. In the meantime, you can see Famous and Sting continuing to duke it out. I'm going to flip forward and watch their turns through this tight area. Okay. Kiki, in the meantime, finding the pass on Powerade has cemented that 4th place back. Makakowski nearby in the mix, as well as G-Force. Flipping back to Sting versus Famous here for 1-2. And Famous finds a pass out of nowhere. I do not even know how that happened. All right. First clip of the match saved. Yes, that's right. I've got highlighting technologies here, folks. You don't want to mess with me. I'm a tech maniac these days. And out in first top 3, we got Famous, Stingox, Kilobaris, followed by Kiki, as well as Powerade. Not too much changing as far as the grand scheme of things, but the details have been swapped up a couple times already. Kilobaris again finding some instability. Cheers, top. Famous versus Sting, the head-to-head. In the meantime, picture in the picture, you can see Makakowski. He is out in 6th place with the best lap in our race so far. Trying to find a couple more spots. He has typically been prowling around that middle field. He's had a couple moments to shine, though. Swabble 1 was one of them. We'll see if this can be another moment. Of course, keep in mind, y'all, just being able to find 5th or 6th place in the RVEC is absolutely massive. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And he almost found a podium a couple weeks ago. So definitely do not scoff at this man. Or I believe it's a orangutan, or I don't know if his name means orangutan or what. Any Spanish translators can help me out there, but he has this orangutan meme that he loves, and I love it too. The orangutan in the golf cart. We got to focus our eyes back forward because we got Powerade still trying to get. What am I talking about? I'm talking about an orangutan in a golf cart. We've got Famous in 3rd place. What happened? Moving forward, Sting. It was not the cleanest exit there on the ramp. But he's still going to be holding on to first with some boost to boot. Kiki. Now, this is not going to be the most worrisome position for Famous. You know how well he is able to pass others. Kiki, another moment. It seems like the wall bang with the ramp not finding the most stability. Kilobaris, Famous, some others have all been struggling at it so far. And as we approach the start of lap 10, we are less than 1/8 of the way through our race. We've got 86 laps here at Santorini.
About Frost, he's just keeping the race, I guess.
Yeah,
He's in the level.
Frost is not signed up for the race. He is just hosting the server, making sure everything goes correctly, making sure that any lap traffic offenders get dealt with, etc., etc. Macaco is Portuguese for monkey. Thank you very much, TT. Now, have you seen any action for the midfield pokers?
Not yet. It seems that race is indeed Monaco.
Ooh!
You don't have the space enough. I guess I was wrong here.
Yeah! Famous falling all the way back into 5th place. Kiki Rex on the side. He's going to get ejected all the way into 7th. And the action comes out of nowhere, folks. Famous, of all people, struggling to find stability here at Santorini. This is the second time we've seen a position drop out of him. He is now chasing down Powerade for third place. In the meantime, moving forward, let's put our eyes on Sting, at least for a moment. And in the picture-in-picture, we've got Kilobaris out in second. I love it. The first to second place battle going on right now. We'll watch this for a lap, see how it plays out. We're at lap 13. You can see Sting. He's got a 20-meter gap here. He's feeling very, very comfortable.
And we know that Sting is able to hold that very strong consistency, so it's gonna be hard to take him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to flip back a little bit. You now got the view from Kilobaris, Powerade, and Famous, second, third, fourth, but don't count out Makakowski because he's right in there in the mix as well. Kiki about 12 meters behind, getting decimated by a corner. Has not been able to recover yet. Did pass up G-Force, I do believe, to get out of 7th place, but still got some ways to go. Famous. Yeah, Poker's right when you were talking. I was like, wow, Famous is gonna get that angle, but he has to pay the price. It looks like the prophecy has been fulfilled so far. So dangerous to try to find any passes here on Santorini, especially through the part that Famous is at right now. It looked like he was a little bit hungry for third place, but just got to be a little bit more precise and tactical with how he takes it, perhaps on the inside right there at the start of lap 16. And there it goes. Powerade cedes third place to the one and only Famous. Kiki, still 17 meters back. Got a ways to go. I am going to watch through the beginning of next lap, and then we'll check back in the standings just a bit. I see Poker's already getting on top of that a little bit. But in the meantime, we've got Sting in first by 25 meters. Keela, Famous, Powerade. It's what you're watching right now. We'll flip back a little bit. Kiki, Makakowski was very close, but the jump kind of goes every which way. He's going to be neck and neck with G-Force. We got Lampert, V, Nick, and Ama. 50 meters back is Laggy Rock there. G-Force and Makakowski duking it out. And Makakowski trying to hold on to 6th place. Powerade, in the meantime, not letting Famous go. At least not yet. Okay, and we have been focused in on this race. Famous and Powerade still neck and neck. Unfortunately, Makakowski has fallen out of his battle with G-Force. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like he got passed and lost a bunch of time. I'm going to continue locked in on Powerade versus Famous. But, you know. Looks like Lampert's trying to get in the mix as well with Makakowski. All right, I'm going to do a quick flip here. Whoa! Sting lost some time. Sting just, okay, not too much, about 10 meters gone. Kiki has crept back up into the mix here, hunting down Powerade as his first target, and he's done a great job at making up time after that slight tip of the corner, losing him a whole bunch of time. We got G-Force, 6th place. Makakowski chilling on an island, 30 meters ahead, 30 meters behind. Nick trying to get into the mix as well. And that's really all we got there on the front field. A lot of familiar faces for sure. But it feels like the midfield is a little bit smaller than it typically is. Powerade wipes out on nothing. He wipes out on absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing. It was completely flat. I have no idea what just happened there. But G-Force is going to gladly take the pass. And not just that, but Kiki too, going to have one less opponent to have to try to get by and around. Kilobaris has not been able to break out away from third place. Famous still right there on his toes, 10 to 12 meters. Stingox about 20 meters ahead. Okay, we are going to flip just a bit. Kilobaris, Famous, Kiki. You see him lined up. 2, 3, 4. G-Force and Powerade. Powerade still in the mix. Unfortunate wipeout for him on absolutely nothing. Makakowski trying to get in the mix as well here. But I'm going to try to stay focused on our front field, at least for the moment, because the passes do not happen much on Santorini. And so when a race is this neck and neck for second place, you gotta stay tuned in on it, even if it takes a couple laps for it to happen. So I apologize if we miss anything in the mix. I'm sure Poker's just gonna be trying to watch a little bit further backfield. I see he's got Ama trying to find the pass right now, and Nick, he found it. He found it right there. Ama moving up in the world. Sneaks into... He's not done yet, though. Okay. Massive wallbang boost there. He's got his jetpack on for that one. In the meantime, Kilobaris and Famous, second, third. And we've got Sting right there. Urak passes V. V wrecks out. Urak finds a pass. Urak moves into 12th place.
A quick shout out to the poor Koga boy, Erzu,
Our-
that can that just can't find the pace of all of these Toya cars.
He certainly can't. He did beat Laggy Rock in the qualifier, but as you can see, Laggy Rock, with that consistency, just pulling through, currently sitting in 11th place, hunting down Nick the best he can. In the meantime, still. But if you'll notice, Famous is now just 3 meters behind Kilobaris. And there it is, the wipeout. Famous was actually looking on the outside there. I didn't really think that was the best line, but as we can see, Kilobaris takes it a little bit too far on the inside. Famous does not wreck out into it. And he is going to be taking second place. And not just that, but Kiki is going to be taking third for the time being. Power 8 and 6, G-Force in 5th. We're all in the line here. Kilobaris, Kiki for third. And not just that, but Stingox was able to break away from that. You can see he's 30 meters out in the lead now. Picture in picture. Ama versus Nick continues. Ama still got that upper hand. Famous is still right there in view as well. So we've also got... I'm kind of scared to flip away. We'll watch him do the ramp jump. And then we'll flip back a little bit. Honks are coming out. I don't know if anything... I don't think anything happened right there. But as you can see, we got G-Force and Power 8 still in that. Makakowski. Nick finding the pass on Ama. I mean, Ama finding the pass on Nick. Okay. Another... Oh! Whoa! Not quite. Ama defends it. Whoa! Look at this. Nick! He finds it. He takes the pass. Alma takes it back. Oh my God. What is going on here, folks? They flip off into different paths and they continue on. Kilabara is still hunting down Kiki. But Kiki has fallen back a little bit behind Famous. Top says, clip that. I'm one step ahead of you, buddy. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip to this head-to-head. Kiki and Kilabaris. They are 20 meters behind Famous. And Famous is 30 meters behind Sting. So the gaps are starting to show. I'm gonna let you handle this one. Wow, Keela, oh my God, Keela is right up in there. I'm gonna try to cover Urak versus Laggy Rock here for the time being. Haven't gotten to show too much of these drivers yet. Urak is trying to find the pass. Oh, a little bit of a shoddy landing there, and that race will dissipate in front of our very eyes. Keela. Not quite able to find it. Okay, that I'm kind of lost as to who to show. Trying to cover a couple races at the same time. Kiki and Kilabaris. You want to swap, Pokers? You take Powerade. There we go. Because we got to put this on the main screen here. Third, fourth, Kiki, Keela. This has just been a brawl between these two drivers. We're already on lap 35. Not quite at the halfway point, but getting close. And I warned y'all, this is not the best environment to find passes on. It's more of the... I've got to chill out because look how close Keela's getting. Okay, he does lose a little bit of speed as he bumps off Keela's bumper. This is kind of the fine wine of racing here. It's all in the details. Trying to take the inside. Oh, trying to find it again. Not quite. Oh my goodness. Kilabaris is a little bit there. Excellent recovery. It is still Sting, Famous, Kiki, Kilabaris. You've got G-Force in 5th, Powerade in 6th, and Makakowski in 7th. Nick and Lampert fighting it out in 9th, 10th. And Keela has been losing pace against Kiki. Look at that, y'all. 7 meters now between the two of them. Urak once again trying to get in the mix against Laggy Rock. If you're trying to... Oh, Urak attempting it. Laggy Rock, steadfast defense. Kiki versus Keela continues in picture. Urak on the inside. Takes it back on the ramp jump. And Urak finally finding the pass there, scooping up 11th place. Flipping forward a little bit, we got Powerade versus G-Force continuing on. Look at Kilabaris versus Kiki in the meantime as well. Wow. Kilabaris has found the pace back. I'm flipping to head to head. Oh, Kiki. Wow. I don't know if that was instability from Keela Barris attacking a little bit. But regardless, he bumps off of the wall at a pretty unfavorable angle. Slows down. Keela is able to find the pass, but Keela slows himself. Looking to stabilize here in third place. Kiki defending. Kiki defending. Kiki with the overtake right there, just like that. Beautiful defense once again. G-Force and Makakowski still happening. 6 second. 6 7. All right, Kiki can take a moment to breathe. He's had great execution. In the meantime, G-Force and Makakowski here. Sting still exactly at 30 meters ahead of Famous. No chance to breathe at all. Two very consistent drivers out there in first, second. Kiki's about 55 meters back. Got a lot of work to do. It can be done. It can certainly be done. But he's being pressured so aggressively by Keela Barris. Makakowski some instability on the ramp jump, and he is going to fall out of the race against G-Force for the time being. Back to our head-to-head. Kiki versus Keela. Urak versus Laggy Rock continues. G-Force versus Makakowski has chilled out a little bit. But look at Kiki versus Keela. I thought Keela might even try to go on the inside there. He's right up on top of Kiki. Wow, Keela Bar is trying to find the inside. The wall bang. And Kiki is doing a great job at blocking him, but I think Keela has the pace advantage, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Keela Bar is still trying to nudge his way in. Keela Barris trying to take the inside. Oh, destabilizing Kiki there, but he's not able to find the pass himself. And despite a very valiant effort, he won't find the pass. And again, this just gives Famous more breathing room to attack Stingox with. The attack hasn't necessarily gone especially well, as he's moved up about 5 meters. He's now about 37 meters away from Sting. I want to put the camera on Sting as well as Famous, but we've got to wait for this race to chill out between Kiki and Keela. So much riding on this, a number of points alone between this third, fourth, but also these racers are very evenly matched overall standings wise, and Keela Barris is positioned for another attack, putting a lot of pressure onto Kiki, and Kiki resorts to defensive driving once again, owing to that pace advantage from Keela. Approaching lap 50, we are officially halfway done with our race. A lot of time left to go, and not much of a gap. Famous continues to fall behind Sting. That being said, 44... No! He must have had a major wreck. He's now 75 meters behind Sting, and he's only 23 meters ahead of Kiki and Keela Barris. So dangerous situation here unfolding for Famous. Sting Could he be locking in his second first place? He's already in first place overall. Another first would certainly be very scary. Now, he at least doesn't have the best lap point. That is in URAC's hands for now. Could certainly end up in another person's hands by the time this race is done. But for now, it is in URAC's hands. We've got G-Force passed up by Makakowski. Trying to bring it back. G-Force gets knocked away. Swatted. Makakowski continues on. Kiki versus Kila on the main screen. Kila Bar he has not been able to find a window in. I thought he might be able to do it right there on the inside, but he does not do it there either. Patiently waiting. Kilabaris runs not only with the failure to launch, but goes all the way into the corner, just barely able to recover over Powerade, and he falls way back. This was the moment that Kiki needed to get some breathing room, but the thing is, I feel like Kilabaris was the faster racer. So this leaves an interesting situation where I think Famous and Sting honestly had the pace advantage both over Kiki, and Kilabaris couldn't get in there. So this could be a wrap as far as first, second, and third. Maybe just first, second. We'll have to see how this continues on. Famous has not been looking absolutely impenetrable. He's only 30 meters in the lead on the back of a big wreck a couple laps earlier. Okay, we have a moment to breathe here, so I'm going to put the spotlight on Stingox. He's been driving a perfect race so far. Blistering pace, perfect execution out of Sting. Goes for that wall bang to start it off. Beautifully done. We've got Famous as well here in the mix, but you know what? I think we got to look away at this point because we got a pretty close race on our hands. Powerade versus Makakowski. This is a race that has been going on between these two drivers for what feels like millennia. Powerade and Makakowski, since the start of RVEC, have just been duking it out. And here they are in Santorini, week 9, still continuing on. A bit of a caster curse as Makakowski wrecks out, G-Force finds the pass, and Powerade continues on in 5th place. In the meantime, some new races unfolding. We've got Ama and Nick. They've made it up into 8th night. We've also got Urac and Urac and Laggy Rock, which continues on. We'll be giving the spotlight to these races for a bit because the action truly has died down on the front field. That being said, Top says do not underestimate Kiki. Remember what happened on Museum 2. Absolutely. Did I just... Well, we'll save that clip for the show once we're done. Teaches me to look at Twitch chat. G-Force and Makakowski continuing on in 6th, 7th. Kilabaris has set a new best lap for himself. And you can see Kilabaris' lap is the 2nd best lap in the race. Kilabaris definitely has a frightening pace. The issue is he just can't get around Kiki. Urac and Laggy Rock fighting. Okay, gonna be landing that. Tuning into Urac and Laggy Rock for just a moment. There's so many races going on at the same time. G-Force is trying to find the pass on Makikoski. Whoa! Tries to find the inside, does some acrobatics instead. And he gets bumped down a bit. Gonna be trying to fight back for that. In the meantime, I could have sworn we saw Kiki right next to Kilabaris. At least on the live standings, but not anymore. About 20 meters between Famous and Kiki, as well as Kiki and Kilabaris. Top reminding me again, do not underestimate Kiki. I think you're absolutely right. Because we got Kiki really catching up to Famous here. Famous falls back. He's 100 meters behind Sting. I'm not going to say congratulations to Sting yet, but what an amazing race out of Stingox. Powerweight and Makikoski for 5th, 6th. Oh, Makikoski has been struggling. I think he's had pace advantage. He's just been struggling to find consistency in this race in general. You can see the racers at the very top. They are almost unflappable. Makikoski once again right there up on Powerade. Amma and Nick as well. Amma trying to find the pass. Amma's a very aggressive driver. Willing to take flips. Willing to take dives. Makikoski. Oh my goodness. Amma with the pass. Beautifully done. Straight on Nick. And not just that. He doesn't get caught up with Nick. He jets right past him. And again, we got 1 meter between Urek and Laggy Rock still. There's three neck-and-neck races here. We can only cover 2 of them. We've got Kiki dipping down into single digits against Kilabaris. Exactly, Top. Exactly, Top. I thought he was in front too. We're flipping all over the place trying to find these fights. I think we got to stay locked into this battle for 3rd and 4th. You know, at least on the main screen, because showing these other fights is great as well. But it really, I mean, Kilabaris versus Kiki, this is the match to watch. There's so much riding on this for this 3rd place and maybe even 2nd place battle. That being said, Famous has done a great job at sneaking away from the competition in the meantime. Powerweight versus Makikoski on the picture-in-picture. Taking a moment's respite here, drinking some water, because the action has died down for the moment. But as we have crested the final 20 laps here at Santorini, week 9 of 10 at the RVEC 5, racers are definitely going to start to get a little bit nervous. It could be Sting. It could be Famous. It could certainly be Kilabaris or Kiki. It absolutely could be Powerade and Makikoski as well. Some lap traffic coming up for Powerade and Makikoski. Famous. Okay. I thought Famous got a little bit of a breakthrough moment, but he does lose that distance back on Stingox. I'm kind of just like, I'm scared to say anything. I'm looking at the distances because there are so many races to watch here. Powerade versus Makakowski. For fifths, there is the wreck out of Makakowski. He's just been struggling to find that stability, like we said. But it looks like Powerade is too. He's right there back in the mix. What is going on? Kilabaris seems to have broken away from Kiki at this point. We've got... Okay, Powerade is 100 meters back. But look at how close Famous is. Famous is almost as close to Kila as Kila is to Kiki. Kilabaris, he tries to back up to block Kiki. We saw that, Kila. We saw that, Kila. We saw that. You're caught on camera, brother. Makakowski with a wreck again. This guy just can't get his head into the game here. He's going to be wrecking out as well. And Kiki does find the pass. Famous is going to be thanking the Revolt gods here because he was very nearly getting brought into this this battle here to make it a three-way fight. But he has been bailed out. He is now 40 meters out into second place, continuing to hunt down Sting, doing the best he can. Kila gets a 5-second penalty. Hey, I'm just saying, bro. We all saw it. I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm just trying to have a good time. You know what it is. Kiki and Kilabaris still are fighting it out, though. This is the kind of the issue, and I don't know. Like, Kila... Look, Kila had the pace. He certainly did. We saw him get to 20 meters behind Famous. He had it. He definitely had it going on. Like, he was cooking for sure. But just these very minor errors getting him caught up. And now that he's behind Kiki again, folks, I don't know if he's going to be able to break out of it. I don't know if he is. I'll be real. I just don't know if he's got it. They are still neck and neck. Kilabaris with another wreck! Oh my god. G-Force, Makakowski, and Ama, the battles for front place have mostly dissipated. But we got this midfield battle between the three, the trio of G-Force, Makakowski, and Ama. It's looking like Sting is going to be able to take the dub, almost certainly. Kiki chilling out in third, 35 meters behind Famous. Kilabaris, 30 meters behind Kiki. And this is really the battle, the only battle that rages on at this point. Ama has fallen out of it a bit. Right now in the picture-in-picture, we've got Kilabaris trying to maintain his composure against Kiki. He's got the pace. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think this guy's got the pace over Kiki. But he's gotta get back up to him and then pass him. Okay. Let's go to Urak versus Laggy Rock here. Once again, we got Urak just barely on the pass over Laggy Rock. In the meantime, the battle with... Oh my god, Makakowski! He's been so unstable! I don't know how the man is continuing to battle people here with this instability. It's been like every other lap he's been wrecking, and he's still got that pace. So shout out to Makakowski, but this has just not been his race here so far. In the meantime, Urak breaking away from Laggy Rock for the time being. Sting sets a new best lap for himself. Kilabaris sets a new best lap for himself. He's continuing to break down the score. Alright, this battle has chilled out a little bit, and with the race coming to a close here shortly, I think it's only fitting that we stay focused here near the front. We've got Kiki versus Kilabaris, which continues on. The pace is seriously in Kilabaris' favor. You can see it plain as day. He's right here about 20 meters behind. He has been steadily decreasing that gap. We've got Kiki, who has been the more consistent of the two, despite lacking the pace. We've got Famous, who has gotten bailed out multiple times from this cat fight between Kiki and Kila that has just continued on, and Sting with just, I mean, obliterating the competition. There was a while where it was like, I don't know if Stingox is going to be able to get more than 30 meters ahead of Famous. Well, that day is certainly behind us. As we look towards the future, it looks like Sting is going to find another win. The question is, can he get a new best lap? Does he want to risk it? I don't even think he wants to risk it here. Famous is just not the guy that you want to start risking your space against. Like, you've held on to it this whole time. You definitely don't want to throw it away because you try to set a best lap here at the very end. But they might go for it. Kiki getting caught up a little bit, I think, in some Laggy Rock shenanigans. Kilabaris goes for the time trial setup, and he gets 360'd on the landing, but he does recover and keeps racing on. He just loses a couple meters that were very hard earned by him. Again, we've got Laggy Rock versus Urak as well. I'm going to try to catch them for a second. Yeah, he does a 360 and walks the other direction. You know what I mean? Okay, Ama and Makakowski. Laggy Rock and Urak. But look at this. Kiki is sandwiched in between two lapped racers. And Kilabaris is only 10 meters back. Oh my, it's time to flip back onto the action here, because we got Kilabaris going for the time trial setup once again, trying to hunt down Kiki. He's in the grass a little bit, loses a couple meters. Laggy Rock gonna let him pass. Final lap here, folks. Stingox wins our race. Famous comes in second. And it will be Kiki third, Kila fourth. Power 8 fifth. G4 6th. Laggy Rock does not look like he can pass Urak at this point. Ama in 8th. Nick in 9th. Lampert in 10th. And I don't think Lampert was on my radar at all. I think Lampert was bugged on my radar the entire race. I'm sorry, Lampert, that you didn't get any coverage there. I think you were literally just bugged on my radar the entire race. So my apologies, buddy. All right, we got Air 2 and V. Not the most, like, it wasn't exactly a fireworks explosion like it was in some of our other races. But this was a very interesting race all the same. You saw these drivers trying to find any window of opportunity that they can. It was honestly kind of a heartbreaking situation for Kilabaris because there was a couple times that he got away from Kiki, but he just got brought back into it with some wrecks. And that's that. That is that. That's going to finish off our race. And definitely excited to see how this impacts our standings as we head into the final week, week 10 at White Rose Chapel. Powerade with the sub. Thank you so much for that sub. Cheers. Okay, so pokers. We're gonna take it back to the standings page here for a little bit. And I'm going to try to get those replays set up.
Alright. Stingok with the win. I think no, he didn't get the best lap last time, but definitely is something is working on in Stingok's favor here.
Yeah.
We remove 13 points for 25.
Okay, y'all. Now, I do think I'm going to have to randomize these clips, which is unfortunate. It just seems to be the way, like, this clip maker works as far as doing it live. So I would like to be able to tell more of a story with it, but at least you can watch back some of the top events, or the top moments from Santorini. So that's going to get uploaded here shortly. We're going to have the standings coming back as well. And we should have Driver of the Day coming as well. So be on the lookout for the straw poll. Don't leave the stream yet. Because we are going to have that straw poll. Now, how do I do this? Okay, think. Thank you, Kiki. Okay, I'm gonna do my best here. Go ahead and vote in that straw poll. The straw poll is up. Driver of the day. Who you thought driver of the day was? Okay, I'm making progress. We're looking good. Laggy Rock says driver of the day is Frost.
True, actually.
All right, y'all, we're going to give this a go. Let's see how it plays out. Well, that Okay, I know what's wrong here. I know what's wrong here. Don't worry. There we go. Okay, so we are going to be playing through these clips.
Go for the burn. Go for the burn. Go for the burn.
Some highlights of our matches, or of our match here on Santorini. Now, Stingox, I wouldn't get too surprised if you didn't get driver of the day here, just because we didn't have the camera on you a lot. You and Famous were kind of in your own little galaxy, and it was mostly a battle between Kiki and Kilobaris for so much of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them were to rack up driver of the day. But also, I mean, the reason why you didn't get the camera on you much was because you were leading the entire race from start to finish. So that's going to count for something too. I'm interested to see what our drivers will choose. Blaggy Rock says, so when did you see such a barrel on Monaco and keep driving? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We actually, there were some crazy things that should have been wipeouts that actually weren't. Here and there. I'm sure you'll be able to watch those back. And there it was. That was really the moment for Kilobaris that kind of cemented that fourth place for him, because he just, at least for the time being, and there is the wreck, because you see there's lap 71, there's lap 72, and I'm like, wait, he's in third place. So that actually didn't cement it. That what we just saw cemented it. And the clips are playing in a random order, so I just totally got bailed out right there. So thank you for that clip playing at that time. But anyways, we will continue on showing our clips. This race is over. Waiting to get y'all the standings updated. Not... Okay, just checking out the chat, etc. in Discord. Oh, they're already ready. They're already ready, y'all. Okay, gonna be showing y'all our standings here shortly. Okay, just gonna let this last clip play out. And as we head to, first of all, let's look at our last race standings. We saw Stingox 99.2% consistency, highest consistency in our race. We did have a couple people with over a 99, Famous, Kiki, as well as Powerade, all getting over 99s. You can see Kilobaris did have that pace advantage, but wrecking out a fair bit more than Kiki, and it will be Kiki taking that bronze. Stingox with another gold, but will only be getting 25 points as he wasn't able to get the best lap in tow this time. And we got Famous in a rare second place. Kiki getting another podium position, but I'm a little bit worried about Kiki Pokers because I don't know for third place. I think Kiki needed a first. What do you think?
Yeah, he might have to have a first place. Every other race were kind of like around these places. So if you want to gain points, you have to be second and first.
Yeah, it still will be a nice 16-pointer for Kiki. But as we look at the overall standings, make sure you look at the blue number for the total. That will give you the total with the lowest 2 races removed. The lowest 3 races will be removed after week 10, White Rose Chapel, to give us our final winner. So as you can see, Stingox is now in the lead 6 points over Famous. Kilobaris has fallen back a bit, down to 130 points, 13 points behind Famous, 19 points behind Stingox. Now, how do we put that into context? Well, it's pretty simple. First place is 25 points. Third place is 16 points. That's a difference of 9 points, which means if Kilobaris got first and Famous got third, that would not be enough points to bring Kilobaris into beating Famous. So Kilobaris is a good bit back. That being said, we do still have another race that can get dropped. And for our 2 racers that are in the front right now, the only things getting dropped are that once their drops are done, they're left with nothing but seconds and thirds for both Stingox and Famous. Whereas Kila still has 2 13-pointers in the mix. So once we get rid of another one of those 13-pointers, maybe if something catastrophic happens to Sting or Famous, they end up in like 4th, 5th on White Rose, then Kilobaris could move up in the rankings a bit. That being said, Kiki is dangerously close behind him, only 6 points behind him, which is definitely doable, especially if Kiki were to win on White Rose Chapel. We've also got Nick, G-Force at 1 point separating the 2 of them. And we've also got Makikoski, Frostbitten, and Powerade, as well as Lampert. Only a couple points separating all 3 of them. Sorry, that was, Makikoski, Frost, and Powerade, not Lampert. As for Lampert, we got a 1 point differential between him and Ama. Laggy Rock is leading that backfield position with 4 points over. Actually, it's Ama. Sorry, it's hard to kind of see all the way over there. Following back to the names. It is Laggy Rock leading 4 points over Ertsu. Unfortunately, Ashton has not been showing up lately. I feel like he could have finished out strong. But anyways, I guess that is going to wrap us up here, Pokers. Anything that you would like to add?
It's gonna be very hard for Sting or the Famous to tie break between them. If Famous got a first place and Sting got a second, so I'm really hyped for White Rose Chapel actually.
And who knows, maybe when we head to White Rose Chapel, Frostbitten, who has only gotten 1/3 place, no seconds or first, maybe he'll come back and win it. This is his favorite track after all that we're headed into, so we could see the whole board get flipped here, the whole table get flipped, and the board go flying with it. But before we head out, just reading chat for a bit. Cheers, Top, chatting along the whole race. It was great to have you in here. As always, you've been tuned in to the RVEC 5, loving the action, and it's been great to have you in here. We've got Urax saying Sting really wants to bring it home again. Absolutely. RVIO the man saying Kilo was was the best of those who already participated in the pro races before this. So, indeed. But you got Prawnfoot. Kiki says, well, about those results. Yeah. Gotta be careful. Famous is honestly, I would say Famous is kind of the just the dominating force of RVEC here. But so it's really interesting to see the tables getting turned here and him on the back foot against Sting as we head into the final race. Earlier on in the RVC, it was Famous and Keela neck and neck, and you can see that in the scores. Famous wins Museum 1, Port Lamano 2, Keela Barris, Game Room 2, Famous. It gets flipped back and forth all the way through Downtown 1. Then it starts to get a little bit messy. Keela Barris has not won a race since Downtown 1, has had some frustrating performances. 3 fourth places in a row. Spa Vault 1, Hospital 1, Santorini. So, that is kind of the way that things have been going throughout our race. Kiki has certainly turned up the heat lately, unfortunately falling just a bit short of what I'm sure he wanted here at Santorini. We've got 1 week left. This has been probably my favorite event to cast ever. There has been so much intense action between these 2 drivers. I mean, not just the 2 drivers, between all of the racers. The competition has been elevated. Every single race, there's been multiple races to watch, including that first place battle. It's been really, really exciting to see just how much of their heart and soul Revolt drivers, Revolt endurance drivers specifically, have put into being the best that they can at these races. And you know what? It's not all a mental game. Like, when you're 86 laps into this race, your fingers are kind of hurting a little bit. Like, your hand is like, damn, can we stop? And they come and do that every single week for 10 weeks. So massive respect to the people who are putting their time and effort into not just racing, but also preparing. It's not an easy task. And it's been really cool to see the level of competition. So that's it for me. That's my soapbox for today. I'm really excited to see how White Rose Chapel finishes things off. We'll see if Stingox is able to take home the victory, the second place man himself, or if it's going to be Famous snatching it back at the very end. We'll see what happens between Keela Barris and Kiki. We'll see what happens between Nick, G-Force, Nick and G-Force, as well as Makakowski, Frostbitten, and Powerade. There's a lot of action up on the horizon, but that's going to be it for me and Pokers today. Anything you'd like to add, Pokers?
Nothing at all. Just thank you for the amazing races you provided by these races. Shout out to them all.
Cheers. Cheers. And Nick gives a shout out to the casters team, Kiki for driver of the day and graphics, and Frost for organizing, and Nick for gifting a bunch of subs, being a cool Sephi, and I think he probably did some organizing as well, let's be real. So cheers to y'all, and that's gonna be it for us. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Don't forget it, 19 UTC, you better be there, because it's all gonna come to a head on White Rose Chapel. Who will be gifted a rose, and who will get the thorns? There we go, I like that one. That's gonna be it for us. Cheers.
Cheers.